What's up, remote marketing agency owners and remote millionaires? Welcome to the Aloha Friday Live Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the other end of this call. We're excited you're here. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, you're supposed to say this 5 times fast, Nick. I was going to leave that up to you.
The perfect type of prospecting.
It's precise prospecting to produce pretty profits. Try saying that 5 times fast. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Prospecting. It really is the only thing that matters. It is the number one revenue producing activity. We're going to dive in. We're going to take your questions. We're going to hash it out. You might agree with this. You may disagree with this. Who knows? If you have questions about prospecting, we want you to pop them in so we can address them, or any issues you're running into so we can talk about it here. Work it out for everybody on the call. So what I'm going to do is cue up the intro. Why don't you go grab, I grabbed a cool glass of iced tea. Why don't you guys go grab a cool drink, and we'll see you back here in, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah,
like
really
that
awesome.
intro, dude.
I know, it's great. Sounds good.
I do. It makes you. I don't know. You just feel kind of like like a rock star or something.
Yeah, I get pumped up from it. It's a little weird to hear it, though.
It is, but it's cool.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Let's see who all is here. If you're here, hit the like button. Give us some love. I see.
I'm feeling depressed today. We need lots of love, Tom. We need.
Yeah. I see Jordan Britton. It was so funny. Taylor, I posted this picture of me eating at the sushi bar the other day with the kids, and he was like, just like a shark eating raw fish. I was like, that's great.
Taylor, my brother?
No, Taylor in our group.
Oh, Taylor. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Taylor. Yeah. Dorn, Bill, Stanley, Norm. Welcome. Chandra, James. It's easy to type in perfectly precise prospecting produces pretty profits, but you have to say it.
You did it really good right there. Wow. Nicely done, Tom.
Welcome, Lance T. Walker. I see Zach Smoose on here.
What's up, Zach?
Michael, welcome, everybody. Welcome. JT, Jacqueline. Finally, some she-sharks in the house. I was looking down that list. I was like, man, there's no she-sharks. Jacqueline, say that, she-shark, and then try to say the prospect. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not even going to try it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Marvin Drobes, welcome, everybody. Awesome.
It's a great topic today, Tom. It really is. We've been talking about it a lot in Remote Millionaires because, and those of you that were on my call yesterday in Remote Millionaires, like that was a hot topic of discussion, prospecting. And I don't even know if I shared this in the main Sharks Facebook group, but did you see those 2 wins our salesperson got in the agency yesterday? 2 wins in one day?
I did.
A canoe sailing company. a canoe sailing company.
What's canoe with you?
Yeah, not a whole lot. A canoe sailing company. Somebody, when I posted that in the Remote Millionaires Celebrations channel, and they were like, "Are you just making up these niches? Like, where did this come from?" So canoe sailing, we got. I think it was a $1,500 a month Google AdWords client, and then also another $1,500 a month Google AdWords client plus a $500 SEO. So kind of like a blended campaign there. Both came in the same day as a result of outbound cold prospecting by Megan.
Wow, that's amazing. And Megan, by the way, is the new sales rep of the agency. What I find really interesting about Megan is that Megan, she knows she knows her product. She knows what she's selling, as in She knows what's in the packages. She knows the benefit, she knows the benefits that the clients get. She's familiar with all the details of what she's selling. She does not know how to deliver or fulfill any of those services.
No,
like she's zero knowledge. Like if you told her set up a social media campaign, she would have no idea how to do it. She does not know how to do any of it. She's intimately familiar with what it entails, what we need from the clients, all that stuff, but she doesn't know how to do any of it. The other thing is she has no idea what a lead scraper is.
No, yeah, that's a really good
Zero.
point.
She doesn't even know what it is. And she has no idea, like, the software that we use, and they just, like, she's never even heard of that stuff. Like, that stuff is not, like, it's just not even on her radar. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we kind of take for granted. So
we're so privileged, you know?
What's that?
We're so privileged.
We're privileged. And what is interesting to me about that, all of those things I just said, is that in 90 days, she generated 20 grand in revenue. 20 grand in revenue without knowing how to fulfill or do anything, without any lead scraping, without any prospecting software. Like she prospected, she pre-qualified, and she met with people and she closed them. And sometimes she did it remotely, sometimes she did it in person. But like, we complicate the crap out of all this stuff. And it's really pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. So for anyone out there who thinks, oh, I can't sell something if I don't know how to do it.
JT.
That is not a true belief. Anybody out there who thinks, oh, I have to have lead prospecting and lead scraping tools. You don't. Now, you do need to know the services you're selling. Like you need to be able to talk about them, but you don't have to know how to do them to do that. So anyway.
Dude, look at this. JT got his first appointment setter and closer today.
Nice, JT.
We were talking last night. He was asking me about a couple routes to go with the hiring process. I'm glad to see that you locked that down, JT. That's awesome. JT started Remote Millionaires, $250 client. That was all he had, and now he's at $11,000 a month.
JT, that's so freaking awesome, man.
I think 6 months or less. 6 months or less. Crazy. But you're right, Tom. So I feel like we are so privileged because here in Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, we have all these tools that really give us this edge. We have list building things and reports and audits and fulfillment things, amazing things. And we brought a salesperson, and here's another thing. She does all her own appointment setting too. So as a matter of fact, the type of prospecting she does, because I know a lot of people, been talking to a few people about this recently. Most people think that when you're doing prospecting, email, cold calling, whatever, what you're trying to do is get a sale. And it is, I mean, at the end of the day, you are trying to get a sale, but it is difficult. I would make the argument almost near impossible to cold call somebody and get them to buy something from you right there on that first call. Has anybody had that happen to them before? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is difficult, which is one of the reasons, which is maybe tip number one today. All of our initial outreach is only to get an appointment scheduled. That's it. You're not trying to sell anything on the first call. A lot of people go and they follow whatever instruction they've been given, and they try to get a sale on the first call, and then we hear about them never getting a sale. I contacted 300 people and I never got a sale. Has anybody tried that? Contacting 300 people and still haven't gotten their first sale? Is it because you might be trying to sell something on the first call? I encourage you to try and schedule an appointment, because the thing is whenever you stop somebody cold from whatever they're doing, they're not really interested in a sale. They're not trying to buy something from you. They're not in market. Whereas like someone going to Google to look for somebody to paint their office, they're going to Google looking to hire somebody to paint their office. They're in market. They're looking to be sold. But when you are outbound prospecting, you're stopping somebody and saying, hey, let me sell you this thing. And usually it takes more than that. You have to build some sort of trust. You have to build some sort of a relationship. So all of our first touches are usually hey, how are you? My name's Nick. This is what I do. I'd love to talk to you a little later about what we're doing in your specific industry to help you get more customers. Do you have some time to, set aside 10, 20 minutes tomorrow where I can show you what we're doing? Oh yeah, sure. That sounds great. That way, when you get on that call, they set aside some time. Maybe you sent them some follow-up in between, and then you can talk about doing what you're doing. You set the stage. You have the option to do that. I mean, for most people, they don't want to be trying to buy something off a cold call. I mean, I know that's me. Does anybody else feel that way? Who here likes to be cold called and sold something in the middle of their day? Put a me in the chat. I'm not gonna have any me in there.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Sorry, had a little cough going. But yeah, so our salespeople, when they're starting right now, they don't even have. We're not even giving them any lists. They're building their own lists, and then scheduling, and then selling. And so, I know, Tom, for you and I for a long time, I think we have like a misconstrued conception of reality with a lot of things. I think the internet marketing world screws so much stuff up for most people in terms of like building a healthy business, expectations, what you can expect in getting clients and how to get clients. And, there is no push button, I'm getting 30 clients solution. That just doesn't exist. So throw that out the window,
Well, when we were talking about this the other day too, about the perceptions, because a lot of times when we're talking to people about prospecting, one of the questions that people always throw at us is, well, how many calls do I have to make to get a client or make a sale? And the first thing we point out is like, well, first, you shouldn't be making calls to get a sale. You should be making calls to set an appointment. But the second thing is like, the answer to that question does not matter. Because let me tell you, like, if you ask me, Tom, how many calls am I going to have to make to get a sale? And I say, well, you're going to have to make 100 calls. Out of those 100 calls, you're going to get, say, 5 appointments. Out of those 5 appointments, you'll get 1 sale on the conservative side. Now what? If you do that process, if you say, okay, I believe that, I'll do it. And it goes exactly like that. You make 100 calls, you get 10, you get 5 appointments. One of those 5 appointments turns into a sale. Now what? Do you just stop? No, you're going to have to continue making calls. There's no end. It doesn't stop. And I was thinking about this with our businesses because I was thinking how we just kind of gloss over sometimes things that took us years. We are still doing them today. We started doing them 6 years ago and we're still doing them every single day today, 6 years later. Or someone is doing them for us, right? That's the key though. So prospecting is one of those things. You don't just prospect and get your first clients and then you don't prospect anymore. It has to always be happening. There's never a day, there will never come a day in your agency when your agency won't have to prospect. It will always have to do it. So there is no end. So, knowing that it takes 100 calls to get 5 appointments and 1 sale. So what? You're still going to have to make another 100 calls to get another sale and another 100 and another 100. Now you're going to refine the process and maybe pretty soon you're going to be making 100 calls and maybe you're getting 10 appointments. Out of those 10 appointments, maybe 4 of those people are turning into clients. But even when that starts happening, you can't stop prospecting, right? Then what did we do? We handed it off to somebody okay, well, now let's build out a team that does it for us so we don't have to do it on a daily basis. But it still happens Monday through Friday, every single day. And it'll always be that way in your business. So I know sometimes people think oh, well, I'm doing this thing, prospecting. It's hard. I just want to be done with it. There is no being done with it. You're always going to do it. And it's not always easy. Some days it's easier than others. Sometimes, it's a lot easier when you have other people doing it. I'll tell you that.
Well, you know what I think is the
but even then you're still refining the process, right? You're still listening to calls. You're still seeing why we're not closing more. You're still wondering why we're not getting more appointment. You're still working on it.
It's a little different though, and I know that there are other people out there that think about this the same way that I did, which is back to the misconstrued idea of expectations. because I don't like sales. Anyone that can relate to this, please let me know in the chat if you can relate to this. Just because I don't like doing sales, I also think most other people don't like doing sales. So I think that there are not a lot of people out there who are going to be able to help me do the sales and prospecting in my business. I think I'm never going to find that person. They're not out there. Does anybody else feel that way? That thinking, that mentality held me back for so damn long, and it's so not true. Like, if there's one thing we do on this live for you all, like, yeah, for this person right here, I also don't like doing sales. I want to break this belief, because there are so many people out there who absolutely love doing sales. They thrive on it. They live in that space. They freaking want to do it. And so if you're one of those people that don't like doing sales, then you need to learn the skill of recruiting new talent. Like, that is your solution. And if you're on this live right now and you don't like sales and you don't know how to recruit talent, then you need to start learning how to recruit talent. That should be like your next day one action that you're doing, is figuring out how to bring somebody in to help you with the sales and prospecting. Because like Tom said, until you do that, you're just never going to progress. You're never going to progress.
Yeah. And you're never going to get over your hump, or maybe it seems like a mountain to you. You're never going to get over that fear if you don't just bite the bullet and do it. Right, Nick? You got to bite. You got to bite the bullet and do it. You do. You got to bite the bullet and do it. And the more you do it, it's like anything. It's like anything, any skill. Like, so many things in business there's skills. And I've been saying this for a long time. Nice, Dan. Nice.
Another remote. I don't know if everybody can pick up on this, but we have been hitting this pretty hard in Remote Millionaires right now. Like, everybody that's in there, like, we've been prospecting and sales and building skills and hiring people. Dan, JT, sorry, Tom, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, like, I am not like a lot of entrepreneurs and quote gurus I see out there that just had all these innate talents and skills right out of the womb. You know, they were starting businesses when they were 10. They were hustling the kids at school, getting things that was not me. Like, I was an average kid that liked to do magic tricks in high school. I was in band. I liked computers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I worked in the restaurant business. Like, I was a restaurant manager. There's no, I was always interested in business and entrepreneurship and having something my own and those things. And I would learn about it on the side and, and invest in it. But these are all the things that have contributed to what we've been able to build today, are all skills that I have learned over time. And a lot of times, I learned those skills while not having any success with them. Like, that's I think another thing about this is, like, when you're trying to learn a skill and get good at something, you may or may not have success, but that doesn't mean the time you're investing or what you're doing is wasted. There are lots of things that I tried way back that I failed at, that we have now been able to use that experience or pull that into what we're doing today, and we've had success with it. But at the time, it was an utter failure. And it took 20 years before I ever was able to be successful with it. So, you just got to let that stuff roll off your shoulders and keep moving forward.
Look, Dan got a commission-only salesperson as well. So for those of you that don't have a huge marketing budget or a huge budget to hire salespeople, because that was another thing that got in the way of me actually bringing somebody on. I thought that I would have to pay them hourly salary, but you can actually pay a lot of salespeople, most salespeople, through commission only. And so there's no risk. You got
to find the hungry ones and the killers, right? I was talking to a guy the other day and I was like, oh, would you want a salary? And he was like, a salary? It's like, dude, I want to be on commission. I want to earn what I make. Like, I want to be in total control. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. You're my kind of guy. Or gal.
Again though, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me that needed to hear this I wish somebody told me this and like hit it home like I'm trying to do right now. And maybe nobody really needs this as much as I did. But just like Dan said, right here, he loves prospecting. He told me his new commission-only salesperson loves prospecting. Those people are out there, and they're not even hard. They're not hard to find. They're not rare. They're out there. You just have to look. You have to look, and that will be the key to helping you get more people. You know, if you're not going to do it, somebody else is going to do it, and those people are definitely out there.
Yeah, and now I do want to take a step back to what Dan's been doing before this point, because I think this is key. If you find a killer, a salesperson or a saleswoman that's a shark, and they're like, I love to prospect, I love to hunt, and they're like, what do you sell? And your response is like, I'm not really sure. Like, they are gonna go to, like, they want to know that they can make money with what you're doing. So you need first to make sure you have whatever it is that you're gonna sell dialed in. Like, you need to know your packages, you need to know your pricing, you need to, you know, they're gonna want to know that what they're out there selling is a good value to the people they're selling it to. No salesperson wants to sell something and get a bad reputation because it's a crappy thing. So you got to make sure you have your ducks in a row to get those people. Like, if you don't, like, you have to do that. So, you know, Dan has been doing that over the past year. He's been getting his ducks in a row and figuring out his processes and dialing in his services, dialing in his pricing. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's something to consider too.
Definitely. And if any of you have any questions on sales and prospecting for Tom and I, now's your time. Hit us with them. And, you know, we'd love to help you out while we're hearing this live. You know, we do this every Friday. If this is your first live stream, we do this every single Friday. I see a couple questions. Zach says, how do I value my packages for clients? I sell websites, logos, apps. Also, the video I just did I represent Hawaii the best? I actually didn't see the video yet, Zach. You'll have to tag me in that. And then how do you value your packages for clients? I mean, you know, we talk about pricing a lot, you know, here, and it's really kind of unique to you. You know, I can tell you my pricing and it probably wouldn't work for you, or maybe it will, but it might be different for you because of how you deliver on the work that somebody is purchasing from you. You know, if you're doing everything yourself, or maybe you're outsourcing, maybe you have better margins because you can get the work done. Maybe you have a software tool that's doing the development, so you're able to give something away for free for the long-term goal. You know, so it really depends. You know, I can tell you my pricing for some of those things right now, just so you know, though. Right now, our basic website, we sell for $5,000. If it's an e-com website, we sell for $8,000. We are testing a new strategy that we haven't released yet in Offline Sharks, which is we are selling low ticket monthly websites. So like $250 a month for a website. Those are for people that can't spend $5,000, but can spend $250 a month on a website. And so we have a few of those people now. Like, we've sold a few of those, but like anything else we do here, we're vetting our strategy, we're streamlining it, we're making it better. You know, so yeah, so that's my website, what we sell them for, and the price goes up depending on how more complex they are.
An interesting thing about your pricing too, and because he's asking about how do you value it, like sometimes it's just developing the confidence over time to charge more, right? Like, take your social media packages. Your basic one, $279 a month, been selling that for years. You recently raised the price by $1,000. Now it's $1,279, and you're already signing clients up at the new price.
Yeah, you know, we were doing $300 a month social media posting and using tools to make that happen. And the strategy was just to, like, $300 a month is very cheap. It's very inexpensive. And that was the whole point, to get our foot in the door and upsell other things. You know, we want to get them on Google Ads. We want to get them on SEO. But what we weren't doing as much of is just increasing the social media posting, the quality and the price. So yeah, instead of adding on a different service, we recently have really been packing on the value by just increasing the price of the existing service by offering more. So, you know, taking a $300 a month social media client and making them a $1,200 social media posting client. I mean, like the conversation that I had to upsell somebody into that 2 or 3 days ago wasn't even a sales conversation. It was pretty simple. I was like, the first thing I did was I started ramping. I had somebody on the $300 a month social media posting service. And then the first thing I did was I hired somebody else to start creating higher quality content. And so we started posting the content, free without even saying anything for 2 weeks. And then I got on a call and I said, hey, have you noticed the content we've been posting? And he's like, yeah, it's looking really good. And I'm like, do you like that stuff? And he's like, yeah, I really, really like what you're doing. And I was like, cool. Well, if you want to keep that going, it's going to be 1,200 because we've had to build out more infrastructure, hire more personnel, and to keep that level of service that high, we have to charge a little more for it. So we can stay the same if you want, but if you want this higher level, higher quality stuff, it's going to be 1,200 a month. And he had no objections to that. He's like, okay, let's do it. And that was it. I gave the value up front first with the $300 service to get him in the door. And then I slowly built more trust in the relationship, just gave away more value by giving the higher quality content. And it was a no-brainer for him after I could point to what we've already done. And once I gave it to him, put him in his hands, he was like, oh, well, we don't want to stop that. We might as well keep that going.
Yeah, that's great. What are the last 3 new clients you've had for websites? What were their businesses? The Canoe Place? Was the Canoe Place websites?
I know for sure we just finished so I'm, full disclosure, everybody, I'm not really in the agency figuring out what clients and stuff we're selling.
I know you did the Kona Coffee. Well, the coffee company was a website.
Yeah. I can, I don't know what the most recent ones are. I know we got a coffee company, Kona Coffee, really good. I might even drop it.
What are some of the, maybe just somebody was asking about examples of web development leads. So I was just thinking maybe just what are some of the websites? I know you've done some for general contractors, right?
Lots of service-based businesses.
We had a window cleaner. We just really any type of local business that needs a website, we can do a website for it.
Yep, lots of service-based businesses, activity companies. If you're thinking of what industries to go after, I would consider whatever your location is. What is the thing there? Are you in Napa Valley? Is it wine tasting country, or are you in Florida? Are there water activities? You might want to figure out what your landscape is and see what is popular there, and who you can help the most, who you can serve best. That's the best way to look at it. Looking around you and being what industry can I help the most? And that might be something that you're familiar with, as opposed to what's popular in the area. Because it might be in Hawaii, I love surfing. There's a lot of activity companies out there, but because I'm a mechanic, I can speak to automotive shops a lot better, and I can probably sell a lot of them. So that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah. Ken wants to know, are you hosting with the 250 websites?
Good question.
Oh, you're not gonna tell us?
Well, I can. I mean, he's a remote millionaire, so I can. I'll send you a message a little later. Yeah. I can't let all the. We haven't really. Just so you know, we're not really paying for hosting. Gotcha. I can't tell you how yet, but we're not really paying for hosting. But we're making money like we are.
Gotcha. So we don't have the prices in the agency listed publicly. Obviously, we discuss those with clients as once we know about their projects and what they need. If you are a remote millionaire, though, we do give you a document as part of that program that has our current agency pricing and what all the packages are, what they include. We also include all the standard operating procedures on how to fulfill those things, how we do all that. You get all that. But outside of that, that's about the only place you can find it.
Tom, I just realized something, and I don't know that we've ever really done this before. And I know we got on this with no plan to do this, but who here on this webinar, who here on this live actually isn't a remote millionaire right now and is interested in becoming one? Maybe you could just put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah.
And we'll reach out to you and we'll talk about it. But I know we had no plans on doing that, but now we're talking about it a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people are interested in it. So, hey, first time ever on our live, actually, really, you guys are remote millionaires. I see you, Norm.
Hey, so I want to do one thing right now, and then we're going to take some more questions and talk some more about this. But right now, I think we should do our our member of the week. So every week, we like to celebrate somebody in the community for just being a good steward of the Facebook group, answering questions, participating, sharing success, talking about their failures, doing all those great things. We send them this. It's a secret shark swag treasure chest. Man, we've had a lot of tongue twister things today. No one knows what's in it except the lucky recipients. So we're going to send one of these to a person that our team picked as being a good member of the week. And our winner today, here we go, or member of the week is Desiree.
I saw her post.
Desiree, she joined the community less than a month ago, but has been very engaged, asking questions, answering questions from other members, and taking action. She shared with a few wins she secured so far. So congratulations, Desiree. Here, let me give you a little applause there.
Who's here?
I know, I saw her in the chats. You are a member of the week. So somebody from our team is going to reach out to you, get your contact info, and they will send you a special box there. So congratulations, Desiree. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, and thanks for sharing your, what you got going on. It's been very inspiring, and I always love it when we get all these new members that join. They get in the group, they give us an intro, they talk about what they're doing, they share some experience, they talk about their progress. It just helps us to build more of a relationship with all of you. Like so many people on this live with us right now, Tom. Like I feel like everybody's just family, We've seen so many of these people for so long, JT, Lori, Akin, and so every time people come in and we start interacting with them, it's like our family grows a little bigger.
Yep. So I want to get to a couple more questions here we had. So Sandy was asking what niches are paying that much for social posting. So Sandy, I get why you're asking this question, but I do want to point out something before we answer it. Our experience has been, it's never about the niches. You may reach out, we may be getting 1,200 from someone in a certain niche, and you may reach out to people in that niche and not be able to make that. It's not about the niches, right? It's not about there's people in every niche that can afford that. It's about identifying the people that can pay that, right? So, a sales rep that wants to sell some, and I was just talking to somebody about this in Remote Millionaires too, because it was interesting, because they were they posted a question that was I want to charge $5,000 a month. What should I have in my packages? I need to know so that I can find an outsourcer that can do it. And it's well, that's not how it works. You can't figure your pricing out that way. Basically what I told him was if I wanted to have a $5,000 a month service that I sold, the first thing I would do is I would look for businesses that could afford $5,000 a month, preferably businesses that had a budget, and I knew their budget was more than that. Then I would research those businesses and see, well, what is it that they're doing in their marketing? What are they already spending money on? Is there something that they're doing that I can do better, that I could bring more value to? Is there something they're missing? Is there something that they have an issue with and I can fix it? Then I would put a package together that brought that value that they would see oh, this package solves this problem that we have, and solving this problem is going to be worth more than $5,000 a month to us. Then I would go and start prospecting, right? You have to think about everything is connected, right? Everything is connected. You can't just decide things in a vacuum. And the best place to start is with the market and who you're reaching out to. So if you want to sell social media for $12.79 a month, you can't be reaching out to the mom and pop shops. They're not going to be able to afford it. You just have to keep looking for businesses that are spending money on advertising. Or one way you can do it is how many employees do they have, right? If they have employees, they probably have a budget, and what would that budget look like? So, but anyway, what are some of the niches you guys are doing social posting for, Nick? All that being said, we're still going to give you the answer.
Yeah, I like what you said, Tom. Obviously, there are probably some that are better than others, some that are maybe on social media more than others, right? Obviously, there are some of that. But in terms of who's going to be the best customer for you, I really like what you said there, because that's at the end of the day, that's, if you're trying to grow your business, that's really what matters, right? That's going to be a bottleneck, because it doesn't matter if you have the perfect niche. If they can't afford you, it doesn't matter. So it's a great point. And just to Sandy's question and prove your point correctly, the company that we just did this recent upsell to is a niche that you would never, like, nobody goes after this niche. They're a water store. A water store. Have you ever heard anybody? Yeah, have you ever heard anybody?
Ooh, water stores are hot right now.
Water store? Never. And they're paying $1,200 a month for social media marketing, for posting. So,
well, and two, like, and again, they see the value, right? Like, they see the value in it. So, and that's the other part of it too. Like, and this is another thing with the whole niche question, you know, because sometimes people say, oh, well, you should go after attorneys, doctors. And this goes back to, like, we were talking about with the salespeople. The people in the niches where they are spending a lot of money, and we know they are, like attorneys, doctors, chiropractors, things like that. They are barraged. I mean, they are just pummeled by people trying to sell them marketing services. And they know that marketing services are expensive, and they know what is good and what is bad. So you have to have what you're doing dialed in. Again, like, you can't expect, as someone who's never had a client, to go into a niche like that where everybody else is like rocking it out, and you're just like, oh, I've never had a client, but yeah, hire me for $2,000 a month. Like, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy, because they're like, well, we have this place over here that's $3,000 a month, but they've worked for 17 attorneys. Like, they would rather pay the $3,000 than you the $2,000, right? Like, they don't just go out after you because you're cheaper in those places. They want to work with quality people. So we always kind of recommend building your confidence in what you're doing with other niches that are easier to break into, and then move into those niches once you have your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
What the hell is a water store?
Nobody knows, and exactly, like, that's a great point, right? Like, not a lot of people even know what a water store is. They sell purified water and like filtration systems. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. But yeah, back to the question about the industries, like, you know, cosmetic companies. We have a few cosmetic companies, e-commerce companies that sell, you know, different things. You know, cosmetic companies. We're going to go into exactly what they sell. But those types of industries, right? E-com is really good. We have a solar company. We have restaurants. We actually give you an online revenue system, and I know there are a lot of you here that have that program. We actually give you 3 of our best industries and all the content for 30 days as well. So if you're wondering what industries to go after, we actually have a big list in there of those industries.
Yeah, Zachary says he just got Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. That's a great book, Zachary. Yeah. Another really good one, if you guys haven't read it, is the one by, now his name is going to go, now I'm going to forget his name. Hold on.
It's funny they're mentioning books, because I just got my library card with Baby Yoda, my Washington State library card. You see that?
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. This one, John Carlton, Kick-Ass Copywriting Secrets of a Marketing Rebel. This is a really, really great book. It will definitely open your eyes to direct marketing and how you can apply it.
Man, that book, the way that book looks with the spiral and the paper, that makes my I don't know, my shiny object addiction senses just like
yeah. It's a good
one. Receptors are going off. They're pinging on all levels right now. I need that book.
Yeah, it's a good one. Let's see. I'm looking at questions. I'm trying to look at questions. Uh-oh. Dorn says he knows the secret. By the way, if you guys want more content like this, did you know that we launched a podcast? We launched a brand new podcast. And here, I'm going to put the link up here, because we should have pitched this. You should go check it out, because this podcast, it's our Remote Millionaires podcast. And we actually sit down and interview Remote Millionaires and talk about how they're doing it, what they're doing. It's remote. If you just go to remotemillionaires.com/podcast, you'll see it there, but you should subscribe. We have lots of great stuff. I just did another interview yesterday with Bruce Mayo, who I don't know if Bruce is on this call, but man, it was an awesome interview. Bruce got started late. He started his agency when he was 63. And he's just crushing it. So anyway, let's see. What other questions do we have here? With social media, here's one. With social media, is it a waste if customer has limited budget and we don't post daily? Nick, or any other, share your thoughts, please.
Is it a waste if customer has limited, we don't post daily?
So he's saying, like, if you're not posting daily if you're getting a client and they're only paying you a couple $100 a month and you can't post daily for that, is that a waste of time, or is something better than nothing? Like,
yeah, no, I don't think so. So here's the thing, and this actually goes back to the prior question about like what are the best industries, and then the example of this one that we just upsold to $1,200 a month. You know, they're not buying a service with this specific service with the expectation that the posts are going to give them more sales. That's not the service that we sold them. The service that we sold them is to make their social media profiles look active without them having to do it. And so as long as we make them look active, you know, that could be every other day, a couple times a week. It's better than if one of their customers goes to one of their pages and doesn't see any activity for 4 years. Like, that would be a big problem. Wouldn't you agree? And so that's the problem that we are solving. We're solving an inactive social media profile across all of the platforms, 6 or 7 different platforms. We're making them look active. And Chandra, you don't have to do that every single day, especially if, the company's newer, or they don't have as much of a budget. But if they do have a limited budget, when they say that, maybe there might be a service that better fits them to help them get more of a budget. I would say that a $1,200 a month social media posting campaign is definitely more for a company that has a little more disposable income. It's not for like a startup, a new company. If it was a startup or a new company, I would recommend, depending on what it is, some sort of service that is actually going to bring in more customers pretty quickly.
That's good to know.
Enrique says, what do you think about AI generating content program like Jasper, previously Jars? I think it's incredible. It is insane what those tools can do. And I will tell you this, that we very often use some of that content for some of those social media posts. Why not?
Yeah. Here's a question I wanted to address too. Jack said, aviation is a loss in revenue because the cost of rate shut. Well, Jack, that depends. Like, do they have budgets for marketing? Are they spending money on marketing? Like, our kind of like, I'm wearing a Top Gun shirt. Our hard deck line, isn't that a Top Gun shirt? Our hard deck line is we only try to reach out to businesses that are already spending money on advertising, because that just gives you an advantage. So wouldn't worry so much about their profits and loss as I would, are they spending money on advertising? Are they already doing it? If you're in an industry where no one is advertising, there's probably a reason, right? So like, you're not going to go in there and convince everybody to all of a sudden start advertising. Like, there's probably a reason they don't, or whatever it is. So,
there's something to tie that into prospecting there, Tom. What we do at our agency is when our salespeople are building their list of people to speak with, to actually prospect, for the most part, they go about their day as they usually do, right? They go to the mall, they go to restaurants, they meet their family, they do their activities, they, go to the beach. And as they do that stuff, they're always thinking about, that business could be a good lead. That magnet on the side of that truck for that roofing company, I'm going to write that number down. That could be a good lead. And they're always putting together these lists outside of just the scrapers, because if we've already told you that, they don't even use lead tools, they are going to start doing them. using lead tools though, because just because we don't use them in the beginning doesn't mean that there isn't a boatload of value in them. They absolutely crush it. But that being said, the list that our people are building, they're trying to build a list of prospects that they think are going to be good customers, that have a budget. But they do just kind of like they come to a general conclusion very quickly if they think that's going to be a good customer. An example of that would be like, well, is the magnet of this roofing company on the side of this truck, is it on a very nice, expensive truck? Or is it on like a super beater little car parked on the side of the road that, has only 3 tires on it? So you can make a quick analysis in your own mind if this could be a good lead. And so I say that because when they make their initial outreach and calls, they actually don't do a lot of research on who they're calling beyond that until they actually get somebody on the phone. And when they get somebody on the phone, then they will pull up maybe some of their information in the background and just have a quick look once over with their website, try to, pull a little thread that they can speak to so it seems a little more personalized. They do some of that stuff, and then they schedule an appointment to talk about things further. And that gap in time between your first initial schedule and actually getting on some sort of a strategy session or a call with that customer gives you the opportunity to do a little more research and figure out if this is going to be a really good lead, what their potential budget could be, and if they're doing more marketing. But the reason I say all that is, there is a lot of value in just, you got to make those calls, you got to get those reps in, you got to do all that. And if you spend most of your time trying to really, 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 really qualify, you could get caught up in just qualifying, rather than making calls. And so at the end of the day, what really matters is how many times you're speaking with somebody. And, if you're kind of doing a little bit of your homework in the beginning by building a decent list, then chances are you're going to get on with somebody that's pretty good a couple of times. So.
I'm looking through the questions here.
Do we have to do some other things? We're at 10.
Oh, we do have some shout outs. Yes, we do have some shout outs. Maybe we should do short shout outs. Okay. All right. Let's do that. So every week we like to celebrate the wins our members share inside the group. So a couple things. We started tracking these numbers about sometime last year. And we've got 2 different sets of numbers. One is one that goes from when we started tracking last year. And then right now we're tracking what people are doing just in 2022. So if you've been with us since we started tracking, our members have closed over $1 million in business. But just in 2022, we're trying to do $1 million just in 2022 to get over that. So
we're going to do
$1 million. So another secret to prospecting and sales right there. So here we go. I'm going to share our shout outs for this week. So
I'm going to make this sale today, Tom.
Coffees for closers, Nick. Coffees for closers. All right. So our first shout out goes to Sean Sherrod. Closed a website design for a mentoring motivational speaker, $997 setup plus a $47 a month fee. Jason Evans upsold a previous client to Google Business Profile Services to help get him in the 3-pack, $997 a month. Taylor Stillman got a $300 design gig from a local dispensary plus a website refresh as well, $500. That's awesome. Congratulations. Man, I got to get this graphic remade. I keep forgetting. All right. Let's see. Cody Weaver closed a $2,400 website while on vacation in Costa Rica. That's nice. Jason reported he had a $10,000 month this past July. Services include SEO management, Google Business Profile management, and website rebuild. A $10,000 month. That's a big deal. Jason, that is a big deal, my friend. Congratulations.
Wow.
Remember when we had our first $10,000 month, Nick? You're like top of the world. And then your next thought is like, it's not as much as I thought it was going to be. Let's do 20. All right. Primetime Promotions, Winnipeg. Built a free website for a restaurant, but charged $97 a month for management. Then they asked for help to promote their grand opening via email and Facebook, $500. I love that turtle picture there, Jason.
Yeah, it's a cute little guy.
Randy Bett shared a win of $950. You got a dumpster rental website. That's like your water company. Who goes after dumpster rentals?
He's been having these good industries.
Yeah. Akin landed a new $300.99 month display ad client using the traffic fuel strategy. And Nick Ponte, new PPC client, canoe selling niche, $250 setup, $1,500 a month, plus social SEM and SEO package sold, $1,500 a month.
That one was for a barbecue company. I just remembered.
Yeah. Congratulations, everybody. Desiree, our member of the week, landed a couple of new wins. She got an e-commerce business launch, $1,000 retainer plus SEO and Shopify development, $650. A medical aesthetics clinic in Canada, $1,000. She'll be adding SEO, press release, and local traffic after the first month. And then an e-commerce business, $1,000 plus business solution package, $3,200, includes SEO, website maintenance, blog, and social media content curation.
Wow.
That's great. Awesome. Oh, okay, I lost my thing. Hold on. Where'd we go? We went through those. So our total for the week of August 6th through August 12th was $27,287. That brings our grand total since the start of 2022, $879,189. We will be crossing the $1 million mark soon.
Damn. That's awesome. Congratulations, everybody.
Here, let me.
Somebody asked what the difference between what is the Shark Alliance? And they said that we have a lot of different programs. And that is a fair question and a fair comment. We do have a lot of programs. I can help you get a little bit of a understanding about like kind of what we do here. So just so you know, like Tom and I, we have a marketing agency, right? You all know that. Whenever we find a new strategy, a new foot in the door strategy, or we build a software tool to help us get more customers and fulfill, we will vet that product in our agency. We will work similar to, like, as I've mentioned with the low ticket recurring website, like we're trying to figure that out. The social media posting was something that we did for a long time. We sold a lot of those, still sell a lot of those. We systemized it. We had a software developer help us with a tool. We worked together to build a training to help other people do the same. And so we created a foot in the door strategy called Online Revenue System. We have many different strategies like that because we're always growing and building our business. Now, so those programs are kind of like one-off programs, right? You get some sort of training with a software, usually all included for, usually a very inexpensive price for an entire year. Now, Shark Alliance is more of a mentorship program. It's like a monthly program, and there are different tiers of it where you get different things. But at the end of the day, it's for the most part a self-paced mentorship program with some coaching that you get, monthly coaching calls and content delivered to your members area, some software tools and access and things like that. That's just an ongoing self-paced support program. And then Remote Millionaires is our highest level, our flagship program. That's the Remote Millionaires t-shirt I'm wearing right now, where we basically work with everybody directly, one-on-one, at a group level as well, give them everything that we're doing, help support them in a number of ways. And that's sort of our top tier level of support. And so a lot of people come in with one of our foot in the door strategies. They will get a couple wins, they'll get a couple clients, and maybe they'll use some of that money to get into Shark Alliance, so they get a little more support. They have some people with some places to go to ask questions, and have some more tools at their disposal, get a little bit more of an edge. And once they get a little more capital, then they'll reach out and join Remote Millionaires, where they just, we just absolutely crush it together. So that's kind of the path that we have, and those are the offerings that we have and how they work together. Somebody asked if RM members can get the shirt. Yeah. You can actually. We actually just gave a few of them away, didn't we, Tom?
We did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dorn says after you get to 100K. So we have a few people that already got that this year.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's see. We did our wins. Do you see any other last minute questions or anything?
I do not.
All right, well then we just have one thing left to do.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
All right.
You did it. You all heard it.
Right.
He was laughing.
Every week we like to reward people that go to the shout out post in our group and say good job, leave a comment. So if you did that, great. If you're new to this live, make sure you do that. You can always find the post at offlinesharks.com/shout out. Nick, who are our winners of the Cash App money today?
So today we have two winners who are our good friends, Doug Page and Norm Thomas.
Nice.
Thank you both for always being here in this community, helping out. You know, I know a lot of people are very appreciative of you both as well, including myself and Tom. And yeah, it's nice that we get to send you a little extra Cash App money. You know, maybe you can grab a couple drinks, a couple coffees, a couple beers, maybe a couple Mai Tais on Tom and I.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, everybody. Awesome, man. This was a great live show. It was really chill. We had lots of great questions, and yeah, really awesome. I appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll be here next Friday. Actually, you're not going to be here next Friday, so it'll be me. And you know what? I might be able to rustle up a special guest between now and then. So show up and see who it is. All right, everybody, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a good Friday. Stay safe. Practice aloha. We'll see you next week. Same shark time, same shark channel. Aloha, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.